The dead hand, deep in the Kaidam Basin, 1,000 kilometers from the front, the air inside the Launch Control Center, LCC, of the 666th Brigade was filtered, sterile, and cold. Lieutenant Colonel Chen leaned back in his chair, his hand hovering over the confirmation key. On the main screen, the telemetry of the DF-26 Intermediate Range Ballistic Missile IRBM flashed in red. This was a dual-capable missile, able to carry a 1,200-kilogram conventional high-explosive warhead or a 200-kiloton thermonuclear device. The order from the Central Military Commission, CMC, in Beijing had been ambiguous, wrapped in the terrifying euphemisms of nuclear strategy. Execute Option Z, warning shot, EMP airburst. They weren't targeting a city, not yet. They were targeting the atmosphere above the Indian formations. A high-altitude nuclear detonation would create an electromagnetic pulse, EMP, so powerful it would fry every microchip in eastern India, stopping the Indian counteroffensive dead in its tracks. It was the doctrine of escalate to de-escalate. Launch authority verified, his deputy said, his face pale as a sheet of paper. Codes match. It is active. Chen looked at the key. It was a simple piece of plastic, no different from the ignition key of a car, but turning it would burn a hole in the sky. The Indians have a no-first-use policy, Chen whispered, more to himself than his deputy. But if we fire this, does an EMP count as first use, or will they answer with fire? Sir, we have a countdown, the deputy urged. The window is closing. Chen's fingers trembled. He was a soldier of the rocket force, the elite of the elite. He had trained for this moment for 20 years, but the simulation had never captured the smell of the recycled air, the hum of the cooling fans, the absolute, crushing realization that he was about to end the world. The safe house. In a nondescript safe house in the diplomatic quarter of Kathmandu, Nepal, neutral ground. Secretary Ravi Menon sat across from a man he had known only as the Panda. Vice Minister Liu was one of the few back-channel links remaining between New Delhi and Beijing. The room was dark, the curtains drawn against the spies of 5 different nations who were circling the building. The secure phone on the table between them buzzed. It was a red light. They have launched, Menon said, his voice devoid of emotion. A single DF-26. Trajectory indicates an airburst over the chicken's neck. Liu nodded slowly. He looked aged, the weight of his government's gamble crushing his shoulders. It is a signal, Ravi. It is not a city killer. It is a demand to stop. If your forces cross the McMahon line, if you humiliate us, the next one will not be an airburst. You are playing Russian roulette with a semi-automatic, Menon snapped. You think our Prime Minister will distinguish between a signal and an attack? Our doctrine is massive retaliation. If that warhead detonates, the Arihant is already submerged in the South China Sea. Shanghai ceases to exist in 15 minutes. The tension in the room was toxic. It was the smell of fear, sharp and acrid. Menon stood up. He needed to break the spiral. He needed to remind the man across from him that they were human beings, not algorithms of destruction. He walked to the small kitchenette in the corner of the safe house. He opened his briefcase. Inside, nestled next to an encrypted satellite phone and a Glock 19 pistol, was a silver pouch. I'm going to make cocoa, Menon said. Liu looked at him as if he had lost his mind. Cocoa? The missiles are in flight. It takes 12 minutes for a DF-26 to reach its target, Menon said calmly, pouring water into the kettle. We have time. He tore open the pouch. The aroma hit the room instantly. A rich, complex scent of deep earth, dried cherries and vanilla. It was Norte sur Cocoa, the specific cloud forest blend. He ordered from leprove.com. He had discovered it years ago, during a summit in Lima. It wasn't just a drink. It was a sensory anchor. This is grown in the volcanic soil of the Andes, Menon said, his voice steady as he stirred the dark powder into the hot water. The farmers there, they don't care about the McMahon line. They care about the rain. They care about the harvest. He poured 2 cups. He walked back to the table and placed one in front of the vice minister.